Alright, they might have been better than Boosie and Webbie on the coup. that's
I ain't gonna lie.
that
That little hitter that wrong that we got from that one little album was a powerful hit. That was a
yeah,
powerful hit, man. So
yeah, Jason Youngboy together is something serious.
Jason Youngboy go. We know that gumbo tastes good. That bitch go together real well.
No,
That's what I know.
so we on here. We talking about this Baton Rouge Mount Rushmore, and put the little crazy graphic up. Chat, wow, man, no you for that. But all right, so we got the Baton Rouge Mount Rushmore, and when I was fucking with this, we talked earlier that morning, and it all started from I saw some stuff online that was just fucking.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but
people integrating themselves into the conversation
yeah,
with the most minimal qualifications there could be.
We can't, like, we gotta be objective. Like I learned the more and more I rock with this internet shit, gutter, I realize that a lot of things are based on personal preferences and feelings, and I get it, but because I have those as well, but I also can be objective as well. Like I can say, um, for instance, I can say Kobe Bryant is my favorite basketball player of all time. But if you say Michael Jordan the greatest ever, I can't just be like, man, you tripping because woo woo. No, I get it, right? You know what I'm saying? Objectively, like we got stats and rings and shit to prove it. Like he come in his rookie year, averaged 28 or something crazy. He got 6 rings. I can understand. There's metrics, but
Right.
and I'm talking to you that morning. I'm like, fuck it. Say, oh, post this bitch. What you thinking? You like, fuck it, go with it. And this is where I'm at with it. And I'm gonna let you go off, and we gonna go back and forth. But dog, look, bro. The 4 people first, Mount Rushmore. The 4 people we have on the Baton Rouge Mount Rushmore is in whatever order. I don't. It's not a 1 to 4 thing for me, but the order. They got Kevin Gates, Boosie Badazz, Youngboy, and Webbie. Cool. When nigga and for me, I told you it's 3 people, and I say the 3 for the sake of things, but it's really 2 people after me just going back in retrospect and looking at catalogs that niggas could argue about is C-Loc and Max Minelli. And in a time capsule, I get Youngbleed, right? I could in that time capsule, but dog, it's some people niggas naming like come on, bro. Like, bro, niggas really give Kevin Gates the and I just said this dude name. They give him the Kobe Bryant treatment because it's like, think about it like this. Me and Kane always like to make analogies with basketball and rap, right? So let's say Boosie the Jordan, right? Can we
Right.
is that safe to say? All right. Boosie the
Yeah.
Jordan, young boy the LeBron. So you got Kevin is Kobe. Kevin the nigga come between Jordan and LeBron, and it's like you at the end of Jordan and you doing LeBron run. So niggas really ain't giving you that credit that I feel like objectively looking at the stats, the accolades, and sonically that you may deserve. Now I know a lot of that comes from niggas just don't be fucking with how Kevin be.
Right.
Kevin be acting.
They don't. A lot of people just don't like the exaggeration that he bring. From the putting his hands on car batteries and all that kind of stuff. But you cannot deny that, one, he could rap. 2, he can. 2, he talking about what he bought. Like, you can't take that away from him. Like, we grew up with him. That's for fact. Like, we heard stuff and we know stuff like that he really did, good and bad. That's towards his reputations. But he is who he is, and you can't take away that here's the thing. Like you said, people threw out some names. Okay. Like I saw you know,
They got to wipe
shout
it.
out my dog, bro. You know I love him, but I always saw MC Nero, got a lot of, yeah, like okay. If we talking just pure history, like yes, you have to mention him because that was like one of the first rap songs to come out of Baton Rouge. But that's it. Like that's where it stops. It's like nah. Like, and you might say, well, y'all said Youngbleed. Well, yeah, Youngbleed went national. Youngbleed was on a great platform that really put Baton Rouge on. So you know, you gotta respect that from Youngbleed. I seen Nussy. Like I get it, and we talked about this, off camera. Yeah, but look how Nussy really got on. It was Nussy literally put his head on Boosie Body and put it on the album cover. Right, you know what I'm saying? Put his face on Boosie Body and put it on the album cover. Right. So, like you said, because you said this, I'm gonna give you credit for this thought. Like his popularity is based off of somebody else. Now, I'm gonna divert and I'm gonna come back to that for a second.
Mm.
You said C-Loc. Yes. Yes. I think it goes like this. You put them four up there. You put Fat Kevin, First Day Boosie, NBA 49.
And Craig Mack.
I said, but that look like Lil Yoshi in about 20 years. They look like Lil Yoshi gonna look like all you gotta do is grow tears. Like I'm like, come on, bro. But
What
if
the
you put
nigga?
one more spot up there, the next person that should have the next spot should be C-Loc for several reasons. One, shout out to Loc, man. Like,
Definitely.
uh, he be dropping them free game videos, and I'll be watching them. But Loc, we wouldn't have a lot of these people or these discussions if it wasn't for him and his innovation and his, what he did business wise, and even for him letting Boosie go. Like, and then
Mm-hmm.
Boosie going on like he could have been like, man, I don't, I
Mm-hmm.
don't let him go, but he didn't. Like,
Mm.
bro, that's huge. That's a big
Yes.
turning point
Yes.
in the Baton Rouge music scene. All right, and for those of you who don't know, me and Franchise, I'm a brag for us. We are well more connected to this stuff than a lot of people realize. Like we not just like we fans, but we grew up in it. We grew up around it. Like we just were sharing stories and we were talking about how, man, we like 14, 15. I'm in there VFW. Max Minelli on stage going hard. I can't remember what he was going song after song. He got the South throwing up foes one side, Glen Oaks other side throwing up there, and it's tension in the room, but they party. So we know we were here, we witnessed a lot of this. And so like you gotta appreciate C-Loc and knowing that what he did. And then he dropped hits. He dropped good music. He even went away for a minute, came back and had a nice little album he dropped. So you got that. If I give it one more spot and we go to 6, right? I gotta again give it to Max Minelli, who man, this franchise, we don't work with him a little bit personally on some shit. So, good. That's my dog. Like being able to have spent some time to actually work in the industry. That it's every kind of different characters, and Max one of them people. Like the Max you get on camera, the Max you get on wax is the same Max if y'all was sitting down and drinking a beer on the porch or sitting at a bar. Like that's Max. Like that's him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Max. Like Max would have to be on there. And like you said, like we talked about this too. History could have went a lot different where you probably could have took somebody off of that and put Max on. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Like you
Before
said, like
before before a certain point, like to where I really had to respect Young Boy, man. me coming up with that, I would I might not have young boy on it, but I'd be a hater, bro, to try to really act like
Yeah,
young
and
boy ain't do what he did.
for us, our age, and you gonna have a lot of people our age that ain't gonna put Young Boy on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably gonna put Max on the list, or they might put a Young Bleed or a C-Loc on the list. And you that's probably showing a little age, but you know, if we really being honest, you gotta put Top on the list because I mean, god damn, like,
Yeah,
like, like the numbers don't lie, the
the
money
numbers don't
don't
lie.
lie. Like it just, and I know it's a different age and it's a different time, but still, like, so put Max, and then next it would probably be Young. So like it's three honorable mentions. It's C-Lo, Max Minelli, Youngbleed, just like you said. Now I'm gonna go back to the Nussy thing. Like Nussy was tied in with Boosie. Like he got his kind of off of beef with Boosie. And I'm gonna be honest too, there's no disrespect. It's not like we value lyricism, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all I need is a BB gun, please believe. Like, come like on some street stuff, yes, that's very clever and I like it. But if we talking about rapping, like that ain't black lag, hat back, fat killer, bag of that, poker hunt, that ain't keeping up with the rest of them.
Yeah.
But someone who we both said was similar, Fredo, because Fredo is tied into Young Boy. Now, I believe that I agree with you because you brought that up. And this is all your thought process that I'm presenting here. I agree with that to a lesser extent with Fredo because I feel like Fredo has he's in the process of pushing himself past just being tied to,
Definitely.
and like I said, bro, if he ever see anybody see this, man, that last album he had with A-Leg Gorilla with Tech, like I don't like a lot of albums that have come out in the last couple years. Like it might have a song or two on there. I could listen to that whole album front to back. Now I ain't
Yeah.
saying it got no skips, but I could let it run.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That
like I
cold.
just I just played it at the store today and I played it front to back. Start with pick and roll and end with, I know the songs on there and the names on there. So I listened to it that much. That's a good album. And then he had that new single with Feel Away. Like he really I think, now the problem is if he ever say something slick, it's gonna always be tied back to NBA.
Yeah.
But I think he's somebody that at the end of this probably could jump them other three, Loc, Max, and Youngbleed. He probably done jumped Youngbleed already. I mean, just to be honest, it's a different age and more people know him. Like he has a bigger reach. Like what Adam said, like you can't doubt what reach is. Like you could talk about, and that's what you got on me about because I was like, well, just make a whole nother list if we want to talk about who really is Baton Rouge. Like, because if we really talking about Baton Rouge, then you probably would make another list because in order to transcend to the level that these guys are on, you can't just be Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
You're gonna become something bigger.
Yeah.
Like, so, but if we want to talk about just pure core Baton Rouge, like man, they were Baton Rouge and they had bad. All right, Level. I put Level on them. Level had nothing but jig music, club bangers. He may have not, went, national federal with it, but he definitely was solid and he gonna be solid for a long, like he's gonna forever have a career touring right here in this region. Like people gonna pay him for him to come back
Yeah.
and sing his music for a long time, forever. Like because that he just had good music like that. Max would probably be on there for sure for me. Like because if I do think about artists that really represented Baton Rouge, it would be Max would be one. You probably could put Nipsey on there too. Like uh, you know, uh you probably have to put some of them early jig groups and Sam I Am and them on there just because what they meant to the definition of what our music scene is and the creation of what Jig City is. You know what I'm saying? So uh, you know,
I
we gonna
think,
have
bro, I think it's like it's this, right? And I think people have to understand what a nigga mean by Mount Rushmore. Cause I seen my nigga Barber,
the
shout out to
greatest,
Barber,
the biggest,
the
the
greatest
greatest.
who took it the furthest. That's
Yeah,
what we're
put it like
saying.
this, because somebody argued me with this one last night. They was like, it's got to have some longevity, and I say that's true because that, and I think they was kind of arguing like the Loc and the Youngbleed. But what is the actual Mount Rushmore based on?
It's the birth, the growth, the progression of
No,
the
no,
shit.
no. Who's on the Mount Rushmore? The president,
Washington, the president. Yeah.
presidents. They weren't presidents forever.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. That's a good
Washington
point.
on there, and if you want to argue, he only on there because he the first.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because you did it first don't mean you did it the best. You know what I'm saying? And that's not
Right,
a disrespect thing. That's a because it's like this, Gutter. You know I don't fuck with that rap shit. So any nigga who going spitting they putting they intellectual property on whether on a pen from a pen to a pad or from a mouth to a mic, you doing this. You not yeah, it's therapeutic, but you want the most people who will gravitate and relate to it and consume this shit as possible. So
right.
these four niggas had the biggest reach. Now, the thing about it, if we talk about things for as now, I'm talking about this because I hold C-Loc in such a high regard, my nigga. Like this nigga is like an architect. This nigga is he is P and baby to me of this bitch. You feel what I'm saying? So, but if I just take C-Loc's rap catalog, just his rap catalog, C-Loc was CEO, rapper, producer, everything. But if I take just his rap catalog, no, it don't compare to these niggas. So it would be fifth for me would be Max. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
if things and that's no disrespect to CeeLo, that's just high of a regard. He's more than a rapper. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, if Max have one hit, two, three hits that go that chart and shit, Max is on here and somebody got to come off because if you really
Hey,
look
I ain't
at
gonna
it,
lie. I still to this day like, and I probably played it the last 3 weeks of this past school year. I I play that thug thing in the morning just to get me hype. That
my nigga,
down, down,
my nigga,
down,
if
down,
Max
down.
had a run of albums, and I know he been doing it before this and after this, but a run of albums from '01 to motherfucking '05. This nigga dropping like every year he dropped two of them bitches in '04. This nigga, if a nigga asks me like, yo, Max Minelli, you say he cool that rapper, what you gonna play? I'm gonna play that in my hood. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
nigga, like, I'm gonna play Let Me Roll where he flipped BR in that first verse 100 different
Nah,
ways, feel like. So,
uh-huh.
but that
Ben
don't
Raw, we ride big rims.
but look, nigga, I need niggas to understand. Niggas ain't just out here just pulling shit. We some niggas who are informed, and if we don't know something, we gonna research it before we touch this mic. But
Right.
we interviewed Max on the Elegant Ratchetness podcast, and we did that 2019. And I wanna share this clip, bro, because
Uh-oh,
it
he
is
got clipped.
man, I got these
He
niggas be
came, he
thinking
came loaded with
these
that
niggas be thinking life a game. I don't want to talk to
loaded
you.
with that fire.
I don't want to talk to you, nigga. Gutter, they be. But I asked Max a question on here, and we had a dope interview. Hey, if y'all want to see the whole interview, Elegant Ratchet is to sit down with Max Minelli on YouTube. But this part is it's. I feel like it ties into what we talking about. You can reflect on this
Right,
shit
right,
right
right,
now, right? What you feel like your legacy is, right?
right.
And two, do you have any musical regrets?
Yeah. Okay. I feel like
That
my
was a good
legacy
question.
is I feel like I made it cool for BR niggas to be lyrical.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, right. Yeah, right.
Cause before I really came out, it was niggas was they was always real street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Real street and
right.
like me coming up under local umbrella. It's like man, you gotta be street, but I always was myself. You know what I'm saying? I
Right,
always
right,
did my own thing, my own
right.
way. So I feel like I opened up lane for niggas to come after me and be lyrical and be, you know what I'm saying, make different kind of music coming from BR. And any regrets that I had was like
This key.
sometimes you get the points where you feel like, man, I need to dumb my shit down, cause you know
Yeah.
this shit might be too over the head,
Right.
and I feel like like when you look at niggas like um J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar or them
Right.
kind of niggas, like I feel like them niggas is just me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
You ain't
So
lying.
So it's a time when I'm like, this nigga the rawest nigga out here. And I know a lot of people felt like that. That's why people under the comments saying Max Minelli.
Right.
So I think he spoke to that. Like Max was the nigga who, man, niggas wasn't spitting like Max when Max
Not at
came
all.
out.
Not at all.
Not
Not at
not
all.
even not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Not
So
at all.
it's but it's certain metrics, like, you know what I'm saying, that niggas got. Not like you said, you brought up, like, it's a list of, I feel like it should be a list of niggas who held it down. I feel like Max done held this bitch down. Max done held it down, even outside of rap, with the Diamonds in the Dirt, with the documentaries.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah. Like
saying?
Langston became a historian, like you know what I'm saying. And remember we was trying to help him shoot that video, like, and so him doing this, like, is no surprise because I can remember back then, and this was like what 2010, something like that, 2011, something like that. This was back in the his YSE days, young self-employed, and we was over there by Larry House, and he was shooting video over there on the porch, and I could
That
just
was Larry House, huh?
yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah,
Larry
yeah.
House.
Yeah, shout out to
Hey,
Larry, man.
shout out to Larry, man.
You know what I'm saying? He was just into it, he was real into like the whole production of it, right? And I went to school for all that, but you could tell when people like really have a eye for it because they pay attention just to the little details of shooting and angles and oh, this don't look right, you know what I'm saying? So uh I'm not surprised by him becoming that kind of historian for Baton Rouge culture, but I definitely, man, he ain't tell not one lie. But even more than that is because I think even we've had that conversation with you rapping, like you was like, man, I feel like this gonna go over people's heads. Like the shit raw, but I know my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my audience ain't necessarily looking for that.
Yeah.
Right. And so he like, man, I can vividly remember like back when it was no social media, when before even before MySpace. I know I'm kind of going back here. Uh when it was a lot of and I'm gonna be using this word a lot, I guess, in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna be leading up into a conversation we're gonna be having. But gatekeeping,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't easy to just jump in the rap game. You really had to
Yeah.
have that story. Because in Baton Rouge back then, you wasn't rapping if ain't nobody really see you put in some type of work.
Yeah.
Like either you was really jacking, hustling, stealing, robbing, shooting, something, you was doing something, some form of something to really be able to touch a mic and rap and spit on something. So, but Max was a lyricist. Like Max was one that was describing shit in the hood, not just talking about necessarily what he had done, but
Yeah.
describing shit in metaphorical ways and putting clever, sayings and slang together. Like Max at one point, like was probably thought to be bigger than Boosie.
Yeah, it was that nigga had that line in that bitch in that, what that, let me roll. He like, you rap like Boosie, I rap like Max. Like, it was a point where it was like, it was really a point where it was like, who's better? This ain't that T-Mac Kobe shit. It was really a point out here where it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
Max the rawest nigga out here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I think niggas gotta, it's
Because
something.
Kobe, the difference between Kobe and T Mac is Kobe was a killer. Like T Mac had probably all the abilities Kobe had, yes, but T Mac wasn't no killer.
Yeah,
Like he wasn't about to go out there and just behead a nigga like Kobe was.
yeah.
Max and Boosie both killers on that mic.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, and I say this about this, like the Boost, who's better between Boosie and Webbie? I hate that argument, right? Because it's like literally arguing apples and oranges because they are two totally different people.
Mhm.
And having worked for Trill and seeing, Chord, seeing, Joy, and but more importantly, be able to really people talk about, Mel and Turk so much, but actually having to be able to work close to them and next to them and just see how they operate. Them two dudes are smart. And they just smart in how they put it together. Because you got Boosie not even, I don't even categorize him in as a rapper. He's an artist.
Mhm.
He's an artist, even down to how he is, how he dress, how he move, how he talk, all that. Webbie a rapper. Webbie gonna rap. Webbie life
I
and
feel
his
that.
mannerisms and how he move and operate gonna be very incoherent. Is very not thought. Is very not playing. He just be living life. That shit ain't got no marketability about the way he move. He don't give a fuck about none of that. But he gonna get on that mic and he gon' rip that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Webbie, like that's why
Webbie,
I don't argue people that be like, man, if you from Baton Rouge, you remember where you was when you heard that first Boost, I swear to God.
yeah,
When you heard that,
yeah.
you was a fan of Webbie.
Mhm.
That girl, give me that all that might have not got you. But that Boost, I swear to God, that's Webbie Birdman Jr. That's that Webbie where he was Pac-Man in the beat. He was just eating like he was like, I'm the best. That's it, man. So if we put Webbie, Boosie, and Max in a room, Boosie is the least lyrical of the three,
Yeah,
easily. But Max and Webbie, you could argue Max is more lyrical than Webbie.
yeah,
So, like Max, I never deny Max being put on this. Like, if somebody want to take somebody off and put them on there, okay, like I'll take that argument just because I think he deserves that much respect. Because at one point he could have been like you said, like he was even surging again, and then the Trill movement came,
mhm,
and that kind of turned head. He no one has he like we talked about we used the basketball analogy, like he really like a Robert Ory. Like he just kept winning and winning and winning. Like he had the camp, then he had his solo shit. Then you kind of had the Trill movement. Then he came back with the YSC shit. You know what I'm saying? And now he to the point in his career where he could drop compilations and greatest hits if he want to.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and who else can do that? Who else can do that?
yeah.
Who else can drop
You
a
know what?
greatest hit?
I feel like if I had to, I feel like Max probably either like Bird or Magic because he was rapping a
Well,
little before Boosie.
you said you
He was rapping a little before Boosie, and then it's like damn near like Bird. Because what Bird got 3-4 rings or something. Bird like that nigga. Like you like, but then Jordan come around and it's like, God damn, nigga then Jordan just took this bitch from these niggas. Cause I
I
gotta
mean,
give him more credit than
I
I
was gonna
gotta give
say
him I
I
gotta
was
give
gonna
him more
say he was
credit.
magic. I was gonna say he was magic
Okay,
because he's more
okay.
versatile.
I give him magic. I give him magic. I give him magic for sure. Because I gotta give him more credit than what how people look at Ori. This not Robert Ori clearly a raw basketball player.
You know
But
what I wish? I wish we could interview Loke because I really would want to ask him, like back in that moment,
who he felt like was
who
gonna go.
or not even who you feel like, but did you feel like was you ready? Would you have put the house on Max?
You know what? I
And I
think
feel
Max
like he was. I
I
feel like
think
he would have.
I think Max is magic because I was watching some shit interviews of Max and he talking about how he had to finish putting Youngbleed album together. Like he was a
I
nigga
saw.
Luke
Yeah,
chose
yeah,
that. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like you really throwing assists and everything. You writing for niggas. You
Yeah, I
man.
said I didn't know that he was running the show when Loke was going through his situation. Like,
You
yeah,
and
bro,
you said yeah, Max
yeah, bro,
Magic. Look, and you said some
yeah,
real
bro.
shit. You
Hey,
said
that
some
put a
real
lot
shit.
more weight on. That put a lot more weight on. I forgot about that part.
You
That put a
said
lot
some
more
real.
weight on
You
him.
said some real shit about Loke. my nigga, he let Boosie go to Trill. He let Max go with Mystical and them. Like, think about how many niggas selfish enough to really just, even though you locked up, to really like be a bitch
Bruh.
ass nigga and like, nah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? That nigga, that's a real nigga. Like, man, y'all go do y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
even the
Loke
P,
deserved.
even the P and Youngbleed shit. Like, Loke is like, to me, if we take just rapping out of it, just all encompassing, Loke the GOAT. I don't give a fuck.
That's what you call an astute businessman. Like, you know what I'm saying? He saw the forest for the trees, you know what I'm saying? He saw the bigger picture, and that's why, you know, I mean, I don't know what the situation is, and that's his business, but I hope he gets and he deserves all his residuals, you know what I'm saying, for who and what and whomever. Um, you know, intro he's instrumental and intricate in all of this. Like, that's a corner you turn one. You know what I'm saying? Like, MC Nero opened the door for us to have the confidence to be a music scene, and he gave us a sound. Yes, but no movement and no sustainability grew from that. Right?
Loke Maximum came with that sound. They changed that bitch
They
and
came
made
with
that.
that sound. That's still that sound today. That still got to be respected. That still got to be ahead and admonished.
Bro,
Like,
this no
I mean,
disrespect, I
admired,
don't
not
mean,
admired, but admired.
I mean this in, and I ain't gonna play it. I got it queued up, but I ain't gonna play it because we, talking. But man, niggas like take Gates off and put Nero on. God rest the dead. All respect, bro. But nigga, like Gates on that bitch when he here. I did this because I love you. Consider it on the muscle. You ain't gave me the game when I didn't have a penny. He took that lyrical shit that Max kind of started, that lyrical street
Mm-hmm.
shit, and sent that bitch. Like, now
Mm-hmm.
he'll fuck around and do them club songs and do all that. They say I'm retarded and all that. That's cool. That's cute. But when he was in that lyrical bag, he was going. You can't compare that to I got a lot of respect. I'm sorry. Like, nigga, Gates was spitting, so you can't take the nigga off. Like, niggas be like, I don't know. I get how niggas be feeling about Gates. Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you some real shit. We done talked about this before. I understand y'all niggas. I'm gonna look at the camera. I understand y'all niggas who feel some type of way about Kevin, because I used to feel the same way. I used to be like, man, that nigga ain't that way. Just hate. Yeah. But but when a nigga would be in the club, shout out to Vic. When Vic had that club scene on Smash, and that nigga was locked up, and niggas would play that "She Don't Want to Make Love," my nigga, and niggas would cut the beat, and niggas and bitches would be in that bitch talking about some booty hole, booty hole. Bruh, I say this nigga got mind control over Debo. Ain't no way niggas in this bitch screaming booty hole out loud with no beat on it, just the vocals.
Yes.
And you know I'm not lying. That shit was
Yes.
a thing. Niggas was doing that in the club. I'm looking like,
Yes.
yo, I'm like, oh, this nigga the real thing. Like, come on, bro. Like, so it's like, man, some of these niggas who talking about take Gates off, y'all was in the club yelling booty. Y'all was in the club yelling booty hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear me?
And we can act like everybody wasn't a fan when he was, and my money real long, and I lean to the side.
What are we doing?
You know what I'm saying? What else? From my head to my toe clean.
I'm talking
From
about
my
banger
head to
after
my toe
banger.
clean. Full
Full
of
of
that
that
liquor.
liquor.
You don't see a nigga fresh. I got a
Got a bad bitch here. Click a big spenders lot of racks this year, my nigga.
my niggas on them jigs.
Bro, what we doing? Like, come on, bro. Like, we can't do
Yeah,
this.
you
Like,
can't take Gates off of that, bro. You
bro.
can't. You can't. You can't.
Hey, I got
You
some.
can't.
I got something the nigga said on TikTok. I won't bring to the forefront though. Nigga on TikTok say you got to take Boosie off that bitch because if it wasn't for White Man Down, he wouldn't be as big as he was. Nah, a lot of people came under that bitch arguing with him and like spazzing on him like, nigga, you tripped. That's the worst take ever. But but let's really like kind of just take a second and think about it. That is Boosie's biggest song. Now we know that Boosie got hits, but I think that might he had that nasty that went platinum. But other than that, that's the only other song. White Me Down is the song that went platinum for Boosie. So is this nigga on to something? Like, we don't know what Boosie would have made. But let's say minus if Fox it's still Fox song. Shout out to Fox, because Fox one of the rawest niggas that ever come from this bitch too.
Fox is in that lyrical argument.
Fox definitely in that lyrical argument.
Fox is in that lyrical. I forgot. Shout out Fox. And Fox another one. Fox another one that, like, I done met Fox, been around Fox when I was working with Trill. Not as much because he kind of, do his own thing, which I admire. Like, of the people I met in the, like, I did my internship at Southern with Trill Entertainment. Mouse and Fox were two of the coolest dudes. Like, down to earth, just cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what that was, Clicks, the pool hall. We had something over there one time. Man, Fox was just, I don't even think he went in. He just stood out in the parking lot and shot the shit for a couple hours. And then hop back in this shit and then peeled off. Fox is definitely in that lyrical argument. But I want to say this because you brought up a comment. I saw this on Facebook. Go back.
Don't lose your train of thought. Please don't lose your train of thought, because I know it's gonna be wrong.
I almost damn near lost it.
But what you feel like Boosie will still be as big without Wipe Me Down? And what would they have done for Fox if it was still just, because I remember when that Fox Wipe Me Down came out, I'm like, oh, this is something cool. Right.
Because the Fox version got my standing taller than Shaquille. Like, they took that part out. Right. Like, I was pissed off. I was like, damn, they took that part out.
Original Wipe Me Down might be better than the remix. Cause let me tell you why. I'm gonna let you get your shit out. Let me tell you why. Be real. When niggas heard Boosie and Webbie on their remix, far as what Boosie and Webbie had put out to that point, nigga like, man, these niggas on hip. This some bullshit ass verses. Now, over time, it grew on us, but at that point, that was some of the worst Boosie and Webbie.
You know how they gonna do it at home. You know how home gonna do it every time when it first come out. You know how they go.
But because nigga, knowing these niggas raw.
Then it ended up on 106 in Park. Then it ended up on 106 in Park, and everybody riding the pony.
That's the vision. That's the vision from Turkey and Bell. Like, they knew it was gonna work. But far as what Boosie and Webbie was spitting at the time, man, that shit was like, man, come on, man. But that shit go. But anyway, do you feel like Boosie? I feel like Boosie was already like Mike from this bitch at that point.
I don't think it changed what he is locally. I think you got to understand, like, none of that shit was that shit wasn't even by mistake. It was playing. That's why I wanted to bring up this other, because what I'm about to say, this other topic kind of play into this.
Okay, go ahead.
Dude on Facebook goes, and I can't remember what the context of why he even brought it up, but he was like, Boosie was smart for jumping on Fox song. But see, that's somebody who probably really don't know how this shit work. Fox, they all make their songs, but whatever they make gotta go through Trill, because that's who they signed to. Mm-hmm. So of course, Mel and Turk gonna pick the best songs. Let's say me and you CEOs, we got 3 or 4 artists. One artist got a song that we hear, man, it's a hit. So we have the bright idea, man, we not gonna just put this one song out with him. I mean, and let's be honest, they knew who the two at the forefront already were, who they were pushing was Boosie and Webbie. Mm-hmm. You already had gangster music, you already had ghetto stories. They trying to put Boosie and Webbie. All right, so we got this hit with one of our tier 2 artists. You know, that I ain't saying that there's no disrespect, but you know, one of our backup artists, like who we not pushing him yet, but he got this dope song. What we about to do? Well, we want to expose all our artists, so we about to put what? All of them on the song, and then we gonna push this. Yeah. So that was to think that was Boosie who was like, oh, I need to go get on that. No, that's not how that worked. That was Mel and Turk like, hey man, y'all need to write a verse to this. Cause we about to put this out. You gotta remember, man, this ain't like by mistake. So like when I hear people, so it's almost like there was no possibility of that question, because Mel and Turk was gonna make sure of it, because they were gonna make sure this nigga got on song. Right? And
Yeah.
that just alludes to the genius of those two. Like I'm talking about, man, you talking about two dudes that's from two different hoods, that's from really from some trenches. And like I done rode around, you know what I'm saying? I told you to ride around in a cherry drop top with Turk, riding through Zion City, and by the Cresto and all that, you know what I'm saying? I had never been. That's one part of Baton Rouge that I had never been. So seeing that and just man, Turk is smart, dog. Shout out to Turk. Like, I learned a lot about the music business just being close to dude and just watching him. Just what I'm saying. And because I used to be proud of that fucking shit when I was part of it. So I used to go to Celtic every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, staying, and doing all I could do just to learn it. And I'm really thinking like, oh man, I'm about to really like be in the music business, like, and I'm about to really go to school for this shit. So, things happen, where, they had to relocate and, all that didn't happen. But just learning that Boosie wasn't, that was Mel and Turk. Like that was Mel and Turk. Now, you might have somebody else that might want to refute that, but okay. That was Mel and Turk. Like, that's not Boosie like, oh, I need to go jump on this song. That's Mel and Turk telling Boosie and Webbie, hey, y'all need to come get on this because we about to have this compilation album, Survival of the Fittest, and we need to put this on there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
this shit was
Like,
genius move. It worked. It worked like a
yeah.
motherfucker.
Like, bro, all of that, the whole Trill movement was planned and worked perfectly from Pimp when Pimp was still alive with the V12 boys and all that, you know what I'm saying, they had
Mm.
going on at that time. You know what I'm saying? And just and you remember how you gotta remember how it was back then. You would hear 3 or 4 versions of the same song, just like you got that Shorty with
That
Webbie.
shorty with Webbie and Plies
Shorty with
version.
Webbie is killing Plies Shorty. I don't care what nobody say. I'll go to war about that, man. Webbie Shorty killing Plies,
Webbie
right?
shorty killing Plies. And we talking about shorty with T-Pain. Y'all go
Right.
look it up. Whatever.
Right. You probably go look that thing up on YouTube. I don't even think that's on like Apple Music or nothing like
I
that.
feel like they had another version too. They had Plies version, Webbie version.
And they might have had another version. You
And
know what I'm
did
saying?
Fox have a version? I
If he
might be
did, I
tripping.
never
I
heard.
might be tripping. I might
If
be
he
tripping.
did, I
But for
never
sure,
heard.
it's 2 versions. For
But
sure, it's 2 versions.
I would put you can't take, like you said, you can't take Kevin off. You definitely for sure ain't take.
Speaking of different versions, um, I think it's really, really. Let's show you how that label shit work. I've heard 2 different versions of that really, really before. I heard a Kevin version and I heard a Boosie version.
I don't
Kevin,
think they related though. I
no
don't think they
nigga.
relate.
Hey,
I think I
both
know
of
what
them
you're
niggas,
talking about.
them niggas, hey, whether they related or not, it's 2 versions of that same song. Not like on no mixtape shit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but hey, y'all
I'm not
love
gonna
some.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. I really want a Trill. Like since we got the Hot Boys reunion, I want like a little, and I ain't
Oh,
gotta do that, but I want a Trill reunion.
bro, we gotta have a Trill reunion. A Trill reunion would go so crazy, bro. Trill
Like,
reunion would go
and
crazy.
again, they like that Survival of the Fittest tape roll.
Yeah,
You got Adios on there. You got
bro. And Big Head was raw. Yeah, Big Head was
on the
nice.
whole album. Every big head verse on the album nasty.
Big
Like,
Head cold.
just give me a Trill reunion and let them run Survival of the Fittest, and then let them do like their own individual songs and stuff. Like, I think Baton Rouge deserved it, like because Trill was our moment in time where we had the game on lock. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I'm proud to say that I worked with him because I got to see the inner workings of how everything went down from the business side. Like not like that. Like I never really wanted to be a rapper. I was always intrigued by the business side of it. So to get that close, because like you said, C-Loc really it was like was our version of New Orleans Master P, and Mel and Turk was our version of Slim and Baby. Like
Mm,
Mel and Turk our version of Slim and Baby.
mm, we gotta chop
Like,
that. That's right. That's hard.
like
Yeah, I
so
like that.
so and bro, like I'm an unpaid intern, but I know Turk used to be like, man, you come up with an idea, it's yours. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming up with all kind of ideas. Now time got cut short, obviously, but uh, you know, it was just cool seeing you got a business that's structured with a bunch of people that come from poverty,
Mm,
and
mm,
you talking about, man, just to see black men pull up every day in a different color Bentley. I'm talking about a different Bentley for every day of the week.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember we were shooting something one time, and uh we uh we driving we in a Phantom, and
Mm,
this back then. So, they got like 30 versions of Phantoms when they come out now. No, this is back then when it's like the one version and that's
mhm.
it. And ain't nobody really got this thing, right? So you talking
Especially
about,
here, niggas ain't coming in them foreign like that.
yeah,
Especially
yeah,
then too.
yeah. So we in North Baton Rouge. We somewhere in North Baton Rouge driving around in a $350,000 car. And I'm like, man, I'm like, boss, I gotta get back to the studio. I gotta get my car. I'm like, man, I got class. I think that semester I had like an afternoon class at like 4:30 or something, 5 or some 6 or some wild stuff, right? So he like, man, he like, we still gotta roll around for a couple more hours. He was like, you want me to just drop you off? I look,
Mhm.
hell yeah. Drop me off right on the strip.
Yeah,
My class way over there, but you can drop me off over here where I know people gonna be at, so they can
yeah,
see me step out this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, bro, if you've never been next to a Phantom, it's a car, but it's as big as a pickup truck. Like
yeah,
that's why I got the little step on the outside, because you really got to step up into that thing. And then when you sitting in it, it's like you sitting in a movie, in a
yeah.
movie theater. Stars and all that shit, the curtains on the windows and all that. And I never forget, man, Big Slim, RIP Big Slim, man. Uh Slim was driving. We in the front seat, Turk and them in the back seat. And they stopped. We in a $350,000 car. And we stopped at the drive-through liquor store on Plank Road.
Mhm.
And they got a fifth of gin and 2 packs of Newports.
Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing. Amazing. This is it. This is like I'm saying. This is a pure embodiment of we made it, but we ain't about to change. And I love
yeah,
that about it all. You know what I'm saying? Uh that influences me now. That's why I do what I do and I act and say and dress, and I'm not gonna change no matter what the title, the status, or whatever. But they go and drop me off on campus, and I end up getting a ride from somebody back to my car. But and I think what ended up happening was they ended up having to come open the gate because I got back so late. The studio was locked up, so I ended up having to get one of them to bring a key. They sent somebody to send a key to let me in. But man, just like I said, being that close to wealth, like you see so many people on the internet not talking about rich folk, and you ain't never really been around a millionaire.
yeah,
Like you ain't never really went and ate with a millionaire and seeing them be like, "Hey, I want to pay for everybody." And they're like, "Everybody at the table," and they look at the waiter and be like, "No, everybody in the building eating right now on me."
yeah,
And then quietly do it, and then the waiter start telling people, and all you see is people start turning around and looking at the table like this, like,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
you sitting
yeah,
there eating next to the nigga like, damn, like that's power, like
yeah,
shit. Like, man, do you realize it? Like, people don't understand what real power is. Like, being around it, I had a money symbol tattooed. I put a power sign over that as symbolism. Like, I'm like, oh, power. Once you got the power, you don't even really need the money no more. Like, that's why these people get so rich, they get the billionaires. They don't know how much money they got. Man, I got so much money, I got the power now. That's why Kanye be like, I don't got no cash. I don't keep cash on me. I own $1 billion worth of business, but I don't need cash. Why? I could catch a flight on my name. I could get a
mhm,
hotel on my name. I get food on my name.
yeah,
I'm like, cause that's power. That's why you be like, man, how can he say all this and they can't cancel him? Cause power. Like power, man. Like, and so you like you just I hope that Max or somebody or maybe even us, maybe we need to keep delving into, because I know Diamonds in the Dirt kind of laid a foundation, but it's so much more you can build on with really what the jig era was. And I really want to talk because like that's our era. Like that's us, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, for lack of a better description, that pill era, you know, like that
Yeah, for
drove
sure.
a lot, you know what I'm saying, of nights for a lot of us. And man, that's you just not gonna ever get. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that slaughterhouse, that brown and that white beat, you know, that's trending now
Mm,
because everyone's asking, you know, what's your favorite version? But you gotta give hats off and show if you're gonna talk about this, let's talk about that brown and that white.
yeah,
Let's talk about what that meant. Let's talk about it didn't matter if you had 500 people in that room, you was about to be
yeah,
in.
right.
You, hey, bro, grandmas, little children, that jigging was, and that's why you know, you know, I like to foreshadow just to keep people tied in. You know, we gonna move this whole Mount Rushmore around Louisiana, and to me, Baton Rouge is one of the easiest. Like to me, it's
Hmm.
one of the easiest. Them four are on another level than everybody else. Like if we drop down, there's Max Minelli and then C-Loc and them, but they are four separate. They're the only four that have done it at a national level and sustained national level. Now, you go to other cities in Louisiana, the conversation get way more murky. Like, you know, I'm up in the 318. Like I said, I was talking to him about it last night. I started saying some names and they looking at me sideways like, nigga, no, like, no, you know. And I say this, I said Mandigo, and I had some people surprise me and say they would not put Mandigo on Shreveport Mount Rushmore. That blew my mind. You
Yeah,
Ratchet City. He Mr. Ratchet. Like he made a
yeah.
song. But then somebody's made this point. Where would that song be without Boosie?
Mm,
That's true.
yeah.
You who people wasn't really rapping Mandigo part.
And I would have put him on street. I would have thought. I don't know. I
They
probably
said
wouldn't.
nah. They said nah. So we're gonna have to get some true 318 veterans up on here to try to because we don't have the qualifications to really have that in-depth discussion. You know, I think New Orleans gets murky because
You got so many
they
people in the blue
we
from
just
there,
got
though.
so many, like, and then you gonna have people throwing folk from different genres on there that ain't necessarily hip hop,
Yeah.
like
And New
trombone
Orleans,
shorty.
and I think the New Orleans shit gonna get murky when niggas start trying to act like Wayne don't. He too big to be on there or some weird shit. Like they gonna do some
Yeah,
weird
he
shit.
ain't New Orleans, like you know what
Nah,
I
Wayne
mean.
on there. Like
Yeah, Wayne on them. Wayne on there 4 times.
Wayne got 4 different versions of Wayne.
Wayne, and Wayne.
Wayne, man, look, that's how we cover. Y'all let us know, you know what I'm saying, who y'all will put on the Mount Rushmore for Baton Rouge hip hop and any other city, you know what I'm saying? It's franchise, it's gutter. Gutter, what you got for them going out?
Like my grandmother used to tell me, beauty is on the skin deep, but ugly is to the bone.
You did. The bros.
Yeah.